Okay, so for this week, we're talking about cultivation theory. One of the questions is, do you think that there is ever an appropriate time for media violence to be considered ethical? Meaning, is it appropriate for news stations, for example, to make the top headlines about murder and the death and crime rate? For ratings, that is absolutely true. They always put the top story as either murder, violence, fire, something that will grab your attention. For example, over the weekend, whenever we had the shootings in Burgertown, that made the top story. It was to be able to keep people safe, but also to be able to get the ratings. Are we desensitized to violence to the point now that cultivation theory wouldn't apply? In a way, yes. In a way, no. It kind of depends on if what you've been through in your life and if you've had trauma. My mom and I always kind of say, I don't know if I watch too much TV or not, but this kind of bothers me a little bit. And normally it's about a story on the news or a story within like a crime show or something, because we've both been through trauma and it's kind of hits a little closer to home. So we're not desensitized from that. And I feel like whenever something does hit closer to home, you're not desensitized from it. It definitely brings it back around. And do we all possess mean world syndrome? In a way, yes. Like I say, with trauma, it definitely kind of has your anxiety built up whenever you see something that you've been through and then it's on TV. Are these messages something that we are so used to seeing that we don't care, or is it something that we need to give more attention to? It kind of depends. Whenever I worked in news, it was every day we'd be getting homicide reports, we'd get fire reports, we'd be getting all the different things like that, and you kind of get used to it in a way because you're like, oh, there's another one, but you don't, it's something that really needs to have attention given to it, but yet a lot of times people will do things, stupid things, just to be able to get on the news. And if they see someone getting a lot of attention over it, they will go and do something just to be able to get on the news. Do you think we should have a different set of ethical standards for our gatekeepers? Yes, because they're the ones that are writing the stories, they're watching the videos, they're the ones that's figuring out what the public's going to see. So yes, they definitely need to be held to a higher standard. And should we continue to show violence in TV and news, and should we bring it back a little bit? So I feel like if you're trying to get a different perspective out there, then yes, by all means, show the violence. But don't be showing a dead body in the news. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen it with working in news. Just don't do it. I mean, please just don't do it. But at least whenever I'm watching crime shows like NCIS, New Orleans, or Law & Order SVU, at least I know those dead bodies are just actors. They're not actually dead. Whereas on the news, they're pretty dead. So, on that kind of violence, bring it back. Let the people decide if they want to watch violent things. But in the news, it should be brought down.